Gentlemen, I'm excited to have both of you guys on the podcast today. And maybe I'm really excited because we got to have a couple good dinners together this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we did. Perfetto's was nice, but the 3-hour smoked T-bones, that was the star of the weekend. That's for sure. Those were amazing, Steve.
I appreciate it.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, other than eating and laughing, what have you guys been up to this last week or so? A couple of different jobs, or a couple in the planning?
Well, we were supposed to hit 2 this week, but it looks like we might reduce down to 1. But working on a big wire pull at a high school in Bakersfield this weekend, Mother's Day weekend. Running into some snags, so it turned into a whole week project. But now we got to dig up the ground, but we're gonna get it fixed.
Okay. I thought you guys were down in L.A. for some reason. I didn't know it was just Bakersfield.
A couple weeks ago you were.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
Okay.
That was the SpaceX, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we did a major one down there for them too. It was pretty intense, but
you've been involved in a lot of that in your career.
Too much of it.
Too much. How about you, Tyrone? Have you been in much of that, or is it kind of new?
No, I've been around it.
Oh, you have too?
Long time.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This makes sense why you guys are a good team.
Yeah, Ty, the first time I worked with Ty was, besides what we did at Solar Star, but the first time we worked physically was when we did that job for you guys out there in Jersey.
Oh,
Ty was with me for that. So
Transformers and
Ford Transformers.
Yep.
yeah, that's right. And you've done that stuff before?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. On the wind side, but as far as just doing it on the solar side, that was probably my first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still saying I need to come out on a transformer job and get educated. I'm missing out on the terminology and the components anymore. It's been a long time and I can't remember. And
We'll be in Bakersfield all week.
Now you got nicknames for parts, trying to keep up. A few months ago with you was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
I think a lot of it's pretty much, it's same technology, same different aspects of doing things, but there's some differences, but it's all good.
It's all good. And the wire pull, there's seems to be there's a lot of art to that, not just science. I was hearing about a line in the pulling gear and
yeah, some of it's circumstantial. Depends, a lot of unknown variables, especially when you're dealing with repower type work, retrofits, removing old, pulling in new. There's just some unknown variables that you don't really get to understand until you get into it. And then
in the last 2 jobs, we've run into those unknown variables as far as the PVC or whatever's running through the ground, coming in or going out. So yeah, we're at that point right now too on the job that we're at now.
I'm always amazed that, it seems like no job it gets planned and executed according to plan, right? Nothing's perfect. And it's nice when the experts are on site doing it.
Yeah.
So the decisions get made quickly. The cost stays low. The end result is we have operating equipment. That's tough.
That's the hardest part, dude. The hardest part is being able to be on your feet and think about it, That's one reason why I like Ty, even when frustrations are high. Like, he's like, hey, got this idea, and sometimes I'm just at a point where just whoever's got an idea, sometimes you got to be innovative and think on your feet. Say, hey, maybe we hit it from this angle, set the equipment like this, try it from a different way, and sometimes you just have to do that, and Ty always gives great buy-in. So that's one of the reasons why I love having him around.
Good deal.
Makes sense. I think every job that Altair and Errickson have done together, something has been different, and there's quick decisions. I can't think of a clean one, but I think that's the nature of that type of work too.
You're gonna face challenges. It's just like you say, you just got to speak through them, get through them, and carry on.
Sierra's was pretty clean. We've had some part challenges, but
yeah,
there wasn't a lot of. I walked that site personally though.
Yeah.
Before we took that job. But that one wasn't too bad. It's just parts delays, dealing with some other things, scheduling, trying to get everything aligned. They're in a full outage, so it takes a lot of coordination to make that one happen. But we try our best to vet everything as clean as possible. But you can't catch everything all the time. You know, sometimes we get caught into situations where someone else has ran into it and they've basically like, I'm done.
Threw their hands up.
I just toss my hands up, and that's a lot of the specialty stuff that we get caught into. A lot of times for me is like, hey, we're at this point. We've hired somebody. They've essentially failed or, you know, basically walked away, and we need someone that can just put the cape on and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I specialize a lot of times. So
Yeah, that's for sure.
Just throw the cape on.
throw the cape on.
We want to see this cape, don't we?
Got to Bruce Wayne that shit sometimes, man. You know what I mean?
I like it. The other thing that I've enjoyed a lot working with you guys is the extra testing and the recommendations on what to test and what not to test.
Yeah.
That has come up on a lot of conversations with jobs, and I can't remember which one it was, but the customer didn't want the type of testing done. And you were telling me this, Adam, no, you have to. Like, this is a very bad situation if we don't. I'm bringing the gear, and it's expensive.
Yeah.
We'll explain to the customer. There won't be a problem. Everybody will want this done. And you're so right. And that, man, when you know what to test and what not to waste your money on is crucial.
Ty was with me when we were in Jersey, and there was some testing that they wanted to do some tests, and there were some tests that were bidded for and paid for, right? Obviously, specifically for the transformers. But because of circumstances that happened with some unforeseen variables with some of the equipment that we eventually went in, vetted and corrected from some old infrastructure, I suggested VLF testing the entire circuit back to the switchgear. And that's just, like I said, it's when the equipment's sitting there and you're talking about, you know, another 2 hours, 3 hours, what that 2 or 3 hours cost you versus what it could save you, it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer once everybody understands it. But that's kind of like the hard part.
But yeah,
get to.
you got some that are set in their ways, and regardless of how much logic you can bring to the table about it, they're not going to change their ways, or it's hard for them to accept it.
Sometimes it doesn't take long. You know, I've been on somewhere we've suggested testing arresters from transformer failures that had like T-body blowouts or bushing failures. And upstream, you know, when those type of failures occur, like we've talked about in the past, you're going to have a phase imbalance. One or two possibly of your subsequent phases, when you lose a phase, are going to suffer from a voltage spike.
Yep.
You know, and a lot of times, a lot of people don't think they don't see anything visually wrong, so they say, oh, we're good, let's close it back in. But we've had a couple cases where we've suggested testing on lightning arresters specifically, and clients have refused it, and I've watched their substation components blow up. I mean, it's, you know, thankfully not too bad, doesn't have any damage. I mean, a lot of them are just a flashover, but yeah, anytime that you're dealing with that kind of infrastructure, if it takes an extra hour, a couple hours, half day, whatever it is, it's always more beneficial to vet the equipment, verify it before you turn it on, you know, because it could turn into a safety situation. It could turn into an equipment situation. It could turn into other catastrophic failures that affect other equipment on site that wasn't even the prime circumstance, you know, while you're there for. So you always want to do your due diligence and vet the equipment and vet everything that you have, always.
Yeah, and you have to share all that technical information with the managers out there.
Yes.
Not everybody can know all these things. Right?
No.
They have to take care of a site. That's enough. And sometimes I think it does feel like, you know, you're rolling into the oil shop and they're like, hey, for an extra $40, we can give you this 172-point inspection and make sure it's safe. And you're like, no. Right? You like it's an upsell for something you don't need until you really understand it.
Half the job, probably the most difficult part of the job. Doing the job is the easy part for me. It's educating the customers and educating them in a way where they trust you and they feel like you're trying to help them instead of just put more revenue on the books, right? And a lot of stuff that we do, we approach things from an economical, conscious mind state, right? It's like, look, when we're there, 9 times out of 10, it's a bad situation, right? Sometimes it's a good situation. We're trying to be proactive. We're trying to do preventative. We're trying to do proactive maintenance. But a lot of the stuff that we do is, oh shit, we got a really bad call. Project's down. We got to get back up. What's our shortest path to get there? How fast can we get back up? And take it easy on the wallet if you can, you know?
Yeah. And that's tough because when something went bad, it's expensive for the owner, right? So they already have stress.
Yep.
Time is an issue. The more time means more money lost. And then you coming along going, you also need this, right? Okay, It isn't just a new cable fitting connector transformer. It's we need to test, right? And that it is tough. You got to share it, Steve. I think the theme from me in my head from you on the podcast, you continue to educate us in what we need to do in medium high voltage. I love that. I remember like the first one was just simple maintenance, right?
Yeah.
It was every year go in a scan of some sort. And
thermography, acoustic scans, we do a lot, general testing, just the things to understand where you're at, right? We have a piece of equipment that I think I told you about before. It can actually, instead of just testing a pass-fail in a vacuum bottle, it can actually test and tell you what the expectancy of the vacuum life still is, right? So that's super valuable. But it's that we also do a lot of fighting for customers that we have one client right now that's kind of in like an insurance case. I can't say too much, but they were the victim of somebody that made a mistake on a job. Wasn't intentional. It was a simple accident, you know, and they wanted to take their whole cable that was full from end to end, from transformer to transformer, and they wanted to put a splice in the ground. And, you know, I had to be an advocate for the client and say, listen, I know this is unfortunate. I know this is a terrible situation. Nobody likes to be in this position, but we can't give my client an inferior product because you made a mistake, right? So we have to make the client whole. We have to give them, at minimum, what they had. I'm not saying that we have to make it better, but we have to, at minimum, give them what they have. So some of it's education to the client, which over time, a lot of the clients that work with me, they understand. They say, okay, like, you know, Brian always says to me, he said, we love Steve because Steve's never going to give us the best news that makes us happy, but Steve is always going to tell us what's happening. He's always going to say, hey, look, this is where you're at. This is what it's going to take to fix it and restore it. It could hurt. Sometimes it doesn't hurt as much. We can get it done. But he said, you're always honest and you're always transparent about what has to happen.
Yep. And I love you just open and honest and share that information with all of us. So here's the recommendations, right? So you can get back to producing power again.
And get to a point where you prevent the circumstances where you're not producing power. Like that stuff's just as important. To me, that's just important, right? It's we love being the guy that put on the cape, get in the bat wing, and we're out there, right? Like get it done. But what we love more is to help educate the clients, help us predict the schedule, do the preventative maintenance. That way it's more of, hey, how you doing, buddy? Instead of, God, this shit sucks right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I always want to see clients on better circumstances than worse circumstances, because anytime it's in a bad circumstance, it's not fun for anybody. It's not fun for us. You know, we'll get it done. That's what we do. But you always want to see people on, hey, happy to be here. Project's looking good, right? It's like you want that recurring maintenance, that recurring faith that we can restore in these projects instead of, damn it, son, I need you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And go on a moment's notice and do anything to get the job done. That is another odd theme that I see you guys doing.
And do it in a safe manner too. I mean, we had an incident with some equipment, but overall, I mean, just a safety pattern. I mean, we went in short notice, spur of the moment, got it done, and nobody got hurt. I mean, that's one of my top priorities. Just to make sure that we go in and do a quality job, but at the same time, make sure everybody's safe about doing it.
I love that approach, Tyrone.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. How long have we known each other? About a year, maybe a little more.
A little bit over a year.
How long is that? About how long you been with Altair?
Yes, sir.
Right on, a little over a year.
Yes, sir.
You got a really cool background and cool story. I've enjoyed getting to know you, man. You got some fun stuff going on in life.
Fun.
Yeah. All right, we'll get to the fun in a minute. But so what your background? I remember you saying MCE was your jam. So you've done a lot of that.
Yeah, I've done a lot of MCE. started on the construction side when I
Okay.
first came into the wind industry, and when I came in, I was pretty young, so I come from the oil fields to wind. Started out with Blattner.
Okay.
Blattner in the industry. That was my first job in the industry, and from there I just kept going, doing construction. Went on the quality control side of it for about 5 or 6 years, and then skipped over into the MCE side of it.
How many years you been at it?
Altogether,
Yeah, renewable. Wind.
16 years.
16 years renewable.
Yes, sir.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. But you were in oil for a little while first?
Yeah, I was a deckhand on a pulling unit for about 4 years before I come into the wind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Texas.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's one or the other.
It's one or the other.
Well, back then it was just oil. Now, it's one or the other now.
Now you got some options for energy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, we first started, well, you and I working together a little bit, Solar Star last year. That's right.
That's where I started Solar Star for Altair.
That was your first job with Altair?
That was my first job.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
You walked in like family, like this.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
easy. I didn't even.
right in. I mean, yeah.
So I just found that out
That
right
was-
now. That was news to me right now, and I've known him since then. So I thought he was here for years, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Yeah, that Solar Star was my first, and I came in to do the quality control part of it, just kind of quality control, the safety part of it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Now I do remember that. I remember we were scrambling
to
because
find, whenever that's when I met Jeff. So, yeah, he said I needed somebody here, and that's when, and I just finished up my interview with Chance and them just like days before that.
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
you know how to move fast. You know how to move fast.
Yes, sir.
That worked out really well.
It did.
I remember you had some real good stop works, pauses, and caught some pretty dangerous stuff before it happened.
Oh, yeah.
You got an experienced eye.
Yeah, the first 2 days I was there, it was like, oh. And then they told me about some stuff that happened before that, and then for them to continue on by the time I got there, and then we had some stop work and fixed the problems, and we never had anything else, no other issues whenever that started.
I love it. I always celebrate those stop works.
Yeah.
People get stressed about them, but
Nervous about doing it. Don't want to step on any toes, or hurt anybody's feelings.
not you.
No,
No, it's obvious.
not when it comes to that.
That's right. And then you celebrate.
Because within the oil field and this industry, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. So people getting hands, fingers taken off, some deaths. Some falls. So yeah, it's don't want to have to witness those anymore, and don't want to have to write a report on it anymore. So.
Yeah, man, we get into some of that stuff. Now I'm kind of wishing we would have given you like a mentee, to be teaching other people. We need more and more people need it, and you can write it down, you can read it, you can say it, you can listen to it. But if you can really do it with somebody and watch somebody senior like you doing it, experienced, it really makes a difference, I think, to helping out new
I think
techs.
that's my best learning process as well. I can sit here and read it or take a test on it, but actually getting out there in the field, putting your hands on it, seeing it with your own eyes, that's my best way of learning.
Yeah. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Altair Energy Services, and their highly trained, expert technical staff, leveraging decades of renewable power management experience into customized solutions for everyone to meet their energy goals and contribute to a better future for all. Altair's team of hardworking, respected experts are providing full-scope, turnkey repairs, planned and unplanned maintenance, system upgrades, fully autonomous technical crews, supplemental staffing, and customized dynamic scheduling to fit your power production needs. Contact Altair at info@altairenergyservices.com and learn more about their wide range of capabilities across multiple power technologies and platforms. I know you're enjoying it at Altair, and man, I'm enjoying
I'm
working.
loving it. I'm loving it. Absolutely love it. Just like I told you the other night, I've been around for a few years, and been with a few companies, few different managers, and by far, this setup with Altair has been by far the best that I've been a part of.
That's cool. Same for me. I worked with a lot of different people too.
Yeah.
This is my favorite group. Yeah.
It's. I mean, just the you got the right people in the right positions, man. You know, so I've had the opportunity to work with Braden, Tyler, Christian. You know, these different Celine's, different people within the company that just, you know, accepted me right off the jump, brought me in, put me in the right position to do the right thing. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. It's I love the culture continues to work like that, and I think it's just that simple. You be that way, you attract those people, they attract other people, and
Yes, sir.
yeah, you're instantly family until maybe you decide you're not. But yeah,
That's why we work together.
I have noticed
That's why we work together.
some sort of interesting relationship
It's that-
blossomed here.
Well, not just that, but
Adam says it's that bromance.
yeah,
Romance.
well, us too, even me and you, right? It's like I think our goals and
Yeah,
our mission statement align. You know, I mean, there's a lot of people that I could tap on for labor, but you're always the first call. You know,
appreciate that.
and sometimes we modify schedule to make sure we get you because
Oh,
you know, when we're out there, we want to make sure that whoever's out there helping us represent us are representing the same way that we would, and vice versa. You know, anytime I go out for you, I always bring the same.
you're our first call.
Yeah,
It's an obvious first call.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then the second call is I tell Ross I need Ty.
Oh, I see. I see. Well,
But we had a good crew at SpaceX though. I mean,
oh yeah.
Will was out there with us, and Will.
Will's
I mean,
great.
we had some pretty. We had Will and Meekum out there with us. We had some pretty rough days, but everybody stuck it out and worked. And like Will said, everyone has their back out there. You know, that's one of the things I love is like when we're out there, we don't really. A lot of those guys I don't know. I know Ty a little bit, but we all act like family. We had a couple meals. We had a day where we went out, had a cigar, explored the beach a little bit. You know, just try to keep
Build
that
that
family
camaraderie.
mentality. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Will and Meekum have also been podcast guests, haven't they? That's
Yes,
kind of
yeah,
funny.
They told me about it.
Okay, all right.
I told them about my little skip out the first time. So like, yeah, you need to do it.
No pressure.
Yeah.
No one has to. But I'm glad you are.
Speaking on that too is, you know, working around, going to different job sites, working around different people all the time, and facing some of the challenges that we face. You know, that in the past, you know, a lot of us don't know how to regroup and recoup from those type of situations and encounters, and that caused a lot of in-house fighting and in-house bickering. But I noticed, you know, the last few jobs, you know, with the right people in the right places, you know, we face those challenges and get through them.
Okay. So you will have challenges,
Oh, yeah,
even
you're
with
gonna-
your own crew.
You're gonna have challenges.
But you face it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and then you clean it up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I preach that, Adam. We've had guys that say, "Oh, Steve, yeah, I wish we had all the information, and we got to have it laid out, and we got to have a process, and we got to have that." And I tell people, I said, look, when we get called, if it's not from our steady clients, a lot of times we're called because nobody else could figure it out. Nobody else got it done, and we try to get as much information and prepare as best as possible. But sometimes you got to be on the feet. You got to be able to use your mind. You got to be able to get creative. Sometimes we make mistakes and learn from mistakes, right? Sometimes you got to apply that learning process. But if this is not for the faint of heart, and if you expect to walk on the job and be handed a document that's going to tell you this is exactly how it's going to go and everything's going to be fine and nothing's going to happen. I mean, Ty's been with me numerous times, and he can vouch. Like, there's been some situations where I've had to dig in. There's been some situations where he's like, yo, you know, I'm out there angry, I'm frustrated. He's like, we're doing it like this. He don't even ask me. It's like, we're doing it like this. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it. And sometimes it works. So, I mean, you just got to be right. I tell my guys, look, I don't expect you to know everything, right? But what I'd expect you to know is how to go find the answer. Mm-hmm. And if you can do that, then you will always be in my good graces, because to me, that's what made me one of the best when I was out there in the field before I started this company. Was I didn't always have the answer, but I had the ability and the know-how to go out and find where I needed to get the answer.
That's it. Nobody has all the answers.
No.
But can you be the person that has the, you know, the ambition, the fortitude to go find the answers when you have the questions? That's That's not as hard.
And that's one of the biggest things nowadays is just having that drive to go get it done, and it's a rare thing nowadays, you know.
Yeah.
There's so many resources.
Yeah.
When I was in the field, you either knew or you didn't know. You know what I mean?
Computers in your pocket.
It's in your pocket.
No, it's not even in your pocket anymore. It's just in your hand 24. Okay. Sleeping with it, fall asleep with it. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. But it's there.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
All day long.
Find the answer. Do you have the fortitude to find the answer? And that's a simple thing. Just don't give up.
Inability to fail.
Inability to fail.
You know, me and Ty had a rough day yesterday. We left the site at like 12:30 at night, midnight, something like that.
I don't really want to hear that.
Right.
You must have started at 6 p.m. Yeah. Please
well, actually,
tell me.
We started at like
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
It was 8.
It wasn't too bad. That was a half
PM.
day. That was a half day.
PM.
No.
PM. We're recording.
That was
PM.
PM.
I don't want to hear about that.
But no, it was just.
I know it happens, right? And I know, MCE work. I know construction, but like I just always have a problem asking anybody to push like that. So when it happens, you got to make the decision on the ground, right? No one outside of that group can make it. And you got to buddy check each other.
Yes, sir.
Are we doing it safely?
Yeah.
How far are we going to go before we say, okay, we got to come back tomorrow? You got to make those decisions. And if anybody's not comfortable,
then
I say don't
abort it.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel better.
Those are really tough calls to make.
If it makes you feel better, I didn't show up till 11 and I drove. So.
A little bit.
Okay. but no, we had yesterday was rough, and me and Ty got in the truck. I handed him a cigar. I lit up a cigar and I was like, man, this feels like defeat. And that
that's
inability to fail, right? And it's not defeat. We're going to get it. We know what we got to do to fix it. It's going to get fixed. But there's nothing I hate more than working a long day like that on Mother's Day, not home, and then got to get in the truck. And even though I know we're going to get it, I still beat myself up. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to be way further than we were when we left, and now I got to go back and address it. But all stuff that, again, it's those outside of your control. You can't predict it. You can't. These days, I start to expect it, but but you just can't predict it. And you just kind of got to go with it. But that's another thing too. I mean, I'm always he was with me through a couple of tough jobs, and he sees it when there's ever a hiccup. I tear myself down for it. And I'm just like, because I expect better out of me because everybody else expects the best out of me,
Yeah.
So
you have a very supportive wife as well. I mean, you mentioned being gone on Mother's Day, right? You got a couple of kids at home. You got one in the oven.
Yeah, got one in the oven. I was gone actually for about 2.5 weeks straight. And, Ireland, our 2-year-old, every time the front door opened, she was like, Dad. Yeah. Thought it was me, so it was a little bit sad. But, we try to push towards those things so that I can take some time off. And there was a couple of times where I came home, even for like just 6 or 7 hours to spend with the family, just turn around and go back just to try to fill the void. But she does a great job maintaining the house and keeping the peace. And she's not too hard on me.
Well, she shouldn't be too easy on you either.
Oh, she definitely ain't too easy on me, that's for sure.
But clearly supportive, and she was on one of our Renewable Wives and Wine, right? And we got to get some more of those going because, like, there's just, shout out to Lauren and other wives that support their husbands or significant others in this industry when you're gone for days, weeks on end, and then you miss holidays, birthdays, Mother's Day. Shoot, we had a whole crew that missed out on Christmas.
Graduation, yeah,
right?
I was here with you. Yeah.
We loaded up my house and got together. We couldn't hardly move around, but
yes, sir.
But look at all the people that were giving up and missing out on, their own families and committed to each other. And I say it also takes a supportive partner.
But I think that's what sets Altair apart from the many companies that I work for. Being in those situations where I've been away from the house many of times on Christmas, Thanksgivings, birthdays, and just had to spend them either at work or in the motel, and having that opportunity to come, y'all open the doors to us to bring us in, and you don't find that too often.
Oh, culture.
Yes.
Yeah, we pulled it off. Man, I don't know how many people we had in that house, but yeah,
Quite a few.
because my wife already invites like friends and family, and then found out we had a group of Altair people. I was like, all right, come. Who was first?
But it ran so smooth.
It ran well. Who was? I needed some help too. You know, it was like, who was first? Robert.
Yeah, Robert.
Robert and his dad.
Yeah, yes, sir.
And I was like, hey, look, man, help. This is the bar area. This is the kitchen area. There's tables. There's soft cheese.
And he's the one that pointed
and I
us
was
in the
like,
right
when
direction.
you see people come in, will you let them know?
Yep.
It can be anywhere, but it's like there's stuff, make them feel comfortable.
After he went into the wrong house before we got to
That's
your house.
right, he did.
I mean, he went directly into someone else's house, or the next door neighbor's house. Just walked straight in.
Walk right in.
Yeah.
Started bringing in beer.
Yeah, he was like, hey, my dad's, can my dad? I'm like, yeah. And who is it? Celine. Can I bring a grandma and an uncle? Yeah. And then Robert was like, can me and Celine bring our dogs? And I was like, I got to draw the line. I don't think I can go as far as dogs. I wanted to say yes, but I was like, we got to draw the line. Yeah, it worked out good.
It was nice. It was real nice.
That was fun. I got to meet some of the people that never met before.
Yes, sir.
Till in my house, and some of them I didn't even get to visit with till later in the evening, you know, helping Steph in the kitchen and, you know, family and all that stuff. But people hung around.
Oh, yeah.
Very comfortable. Got
nice.
to visit and meet. You brought out, like, my wife is a great cook, and in my opinion, never met anyone better. And she goes, "What's your favorite meal?" She asks me this a lot, and I'm like, "Just when you cook," because it's just amazing. You brought out this chili, and I took a bite, and I was like, "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I've just had a better chili."
And when you told her, I was like, "Oh man, I'm fixing to get beat up or something."
man.
I'm gonna put out the house.
Yeah, well, you get to leave. You know what she said? She took a bite. She goes, "Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. That was the bomb." And then the cornbread tastes like cake.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that, but it was amazing. And you won some competitions, you were saying.
Oh yeah, I've won first place chili cook-off with that particular chili a couple times.
And you did that in a small stove in a
motel room. Yeah,
in a motel room.
In a motel room on a flat top.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that was really appreciated that. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, I was like, man, how do I not eat my wife's Christmas dinner? To pile some extra chili in my bag.
I told him I was upset that day because you invited me.
Oh yeah,
You invited us, and then we had a full house too, and then you just brought up that chili, and I was like, man, I should have just went for the chili.
Did you come out, Jacob?
No,
You missed out on some chili, bro. That was good. And then you brought me some barbecue sauce. Can we talk about that?
Yes, sir.
Amos flavor.
Amos flavor. Yeah, it's one of my cousin's brands, and you know it's pretty much a family little thing as far as producing it and getting it out there to everybody. And I mean, man, I love the barbecue. I love to cook, and I've used a variety of different barbecue sauces and sauces for different things, but not to toot the horn or anything, but either one, whether it's the regular, the spicy, or the maple, has been by far the best sauce that I've had. You know, so I mean, we take pride in it. It's a family recipe, and so.
Oh man, it's our go-to. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
It's our go-to now. Have you tried it?
So listen, I struggle to remember to order parts for jobs sometimes. But today when we leave here, I'm going to order some.
Yeah.
Because the people who make the seasoning that I do for the steak that, you know, you love, they make a barbecue sauce, and I was not impressed with it. I was actually pretty disappointed. I was feeling Ty. So he's told me a couple of times. So I think I'm just going to order a year's supply of it so that I'm ready to go, and then I won't have to order it for another year.
It's
now it comes in not just in those small containers. It comes in the gallon buckets now too.
It's on Amazon too, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's on Amazon too?
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Amos Flava, so Flava.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And then you can find it that way.
Yep.
Dude, it's amazing. Yeah, you're gonna love it. And you're a big barbecuer.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna love it.
Too much.
Too much? Well, you know.
Good deal.
So all right. Let's pull on culture a little bit, because it is kind of unique how we all find each other. And I've said, like, for a lot of years, well, my previous employer, global company, and I thought good culture, but what I really looked back on, and it was great professional development.
Mm-hmm.
Like that GE built amazing professionals, tough, brilliant, like bet on them, right? When the time comes. And then I just kind of thought that's what culture was. But I remember when I was working global, I spent some time down in South America, in Brazil, at the headquarters down there. Those people took their coffee breaks together, took their lunches together, go and walk to, take a break together. Like they loved not just working together, but they loved spending their downtime together.
Mm-hmm.
They'll plan dinner together. They were family friends.
Yes.
And I didn't see anybody excluded. It seemed to be easy. The big building, lots of people, right, down there at this particular headquarters. And no walls hardly. Like the conference rooms only, and it was glass. Otherwise, it was just rows of desks, and the desks were all set up the same. And you couldn't really be assigned one. You just take your laptop, every laptop, and every docking station works, and you're all set up. So you can move around. And people would. And would just visit with each other, and maybe a couple of people wanted to claim one and bring some family pictures or something.
Yeah.
But they liked hanging out together. And then we find this at Altair. We find this at Errickson. We like hanging out together, have the meals. Yeah, go have a drink and a smoke and go for a walk. And but it is more rare than I really knew about. You knew about it. Mm-hmm. You've probably seen more of that than I have, just because I spent most of my time at one company. But we got to keep it. We can't lose it.
It's the best way. I spent time at a company who went through a major acquisition, and the culture changed. And I was telling Ty, I was telling you both, one of the things that they used to do was every Friday we had a barbecue no matter what. Right.
Okay.
And it was a lot of local people, so it was a little easier. That's also easier when you have people that are local and you have it to a local regional office or something. But you want to spend time with people, right? Because at the end of the day, the thing that I want to avoid, the thing that I got forced into through acquisition at both companies, that I spent most of my career at, is people become numbers, right? Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, these people are people, right? So to me, it's like, hey, we gotta take care of each other. The first job that me and Ty did together, as I told you, we took care of lunch for everybody because I knew it was going to be rough. We didn't have time to really stop and say, hey, everyone go find their own meal. So it's like, hey, Ty, take my credit card, find something good. He's always, that's the other thing. He's great at finding good food. Right? So
that's a skill.
When I show up in the morning, I'm like, hey, Ty, find out what's for lunch today. Yep. You know what I mean? So we did that, and then at the end of the job, I took everyone to Fogo de Chao. Oh. So we just kind of had a good one, right? Because it was like, hey, everyone really worked hard. I felt like we got to know each other a little bit more personally than we planned to, because the amount of hours we spent with each other in conditions. It was cold as shit out there. Yeah. It was 28 degrees out there at the time. It was December.
Snowing.
It's close enough to New York to throw a rock and hit it, you know what I mean? So there was snow on the ground. But we do a lot of that stuff too, right? It's always and I try to preach that, right? Ty texts me, hey, kids graduating, prom, whatever. We always communicate, even when he's not working. Sometimes I call him and say, hey, what's up? Just to say hi, you know what I mean? So you have to build that, because you have to invest in people, right? Mm-hmm. You can't invest in job titles. People have job titles. You can't invest in job titles, because eventually those people leave. It's in my opinion, it's always better to invest in people and build the people that you want and make sure those people know that they care, right? So we do a lot of that stuff. You and I do a lot of that stuff. Man, I don't think there's been, since we've started working with Altair, it's been probably close to a year. It'll be probably close to a year in about 4 months.
Okay.
I don't think you and I have went more than 30 days without sitting down to have a meal together with true. Me, you, Lauren, and Steph. You know what I mean? And if it gets too far, one of us always is like, hey, we haven't done dinner for a while. We should probably go get a meal, So you want to kind of keep that and build that culture, because at the end of the day, like Ty said, when he was younger and was out there, same with me. When I was out there, it was nobody, right? I found myself in the bottom of several fifths of scotch being by myself in the field where it was a daily situation, because it's all I got. It's me and the bottle, a couple cigars,
Keep it off your mind.
Keep it off your mind, right. kind of numb the pain. But when you're out there, you got to kind of make the most. When we went and did the job in LA, we all got down there and they canceled like the night before we were supposed to start working. We're all down there. I got a long ride. Meekum's there, Ty's there, Will's there, and I'm like, hey guys, we're going out to dinner. Like, I can drive to LA for no reason. This sucks. We'll figure out the details tomorrow. But, you know, we did that. We went to lunch one day right there on the pier. We do cigars. We do all kinds of stuff, right? So you got to keep the camaraderie alive, because at the end of the day, these are people. And my dad was military, so I think about this a lot too. But the military is kind of the same way, right? When you're out there and you're anywhere, you're on a job, you're at war, you're going through training, you're supposed to be your brother's keeper,
You're
right?
not doing it alone.
I can't tell you how many times, like, me and him have walked up to each other, hey, you need help, here's a water, whatever. You know, like, you have to take care of those people, because at the end of the day, we are all in this shitty situation until we get this job done together, and we just got to get through it, you know?
Yeah.
And it shows. I think people see that. Like, one of the things that happened on one of the most recent jobs we did, we had a massive delay, and we worked, close CEO Adam's ears, but we worked a lot of hours to push through, and they actually told us, they said, dude, we got other contractors on this same project that are late that would have never did what you did.
Yeah.
You know, and that makes all the difference. I mean, and we were local. There wasn't any driving risk there. We were all like 8 minutes away, you know, staying overnight. But
And a lot of times, the time that we spend together helps us outside the job as well as inside the job.
100%.
Because, you know, we get in those situations where we're going from one side of the country, one environment to another, you know, and you're around certain people for a certain amount of time, and you working and working and going, and then all of a sudden you notice that something's not right with somebody. He's not talking like he used to, or he's not moving around like he's normally doing. You know, you can see that and attend to it, you know, better and a lot quicker than you can if you did know him. Like, you know, he'll come around, and instead of not, something's wrong, so we need to stop and see what's going on. So it helps out a lot to, you know, be able to hang out with each other, whether it's inside on the job site or off the job site.
That's next level buddy check.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and then you can really have the conversation if they're thinking about, you know, I don't know, parent or kid or baby mama or whatever.
we just had this conversation on site yesterday, because I'm dealing with a circumstance with one of my children. And I said, hey, Ty, you're a little bit older than me, you know, maybe you got what's your take, you know, and we just swap ideas about life, just like we swap ideas about the job.
Man, that's culture.
And that was just brung up yesterday.
Just yesterday.
Just yesterday.
You know, how do you make it happen? Tyrone, I think you said it best. You got here and everybody just was welcoming, right? You just have to be a welcoming person. Because the new person coming in, they're the one at the disadvantage. And you just be friendly and welcoming.
It wasn't. It was never about. I've been with this company this amount of years, or I've been in, you know, this industry this amount of years. You know, what I say is golden. And this is what we're going to go by. This, and that's it. So it's never been that way. Yeah. And I've been around where, you know, you get with some people and it's their way or the highway, no matter what the situation was.
Yeah. It's unique. Yeah. No, and you can't make decisions. I mean, you can put company policies in place for like working hours and stuff, but you can't make those decisions unless you're the person on the job.
Yes, sir.
In the field. And it's important that, you know, you guys are, you know, senior level, seasoned, you know how to make it. But for other folks, I just like to share and just, you know, keep educating. Like companies say you can only work this many hours. And that's just broad to keep everybody safe, right? But we all know decisions have to get made, and there are plenty of different job types. But yeah, we got.
But what really brung me on, I mean, even during the interview process, it was all welcoming. Everybody that took their turn during their interview, but to actually get out in the field. My first, you know, the second job that I was on, I work with Chance. Yeah. The second job I work with, I'm with Adam. So, you know, and so forth. So, yeah, being able to, and then even with Eric, so being able to work with some of the managers is like, you know, you don't find that anywhere else. Where some of the managers out in the field of the tower, whatever it takes to get it done, they're there to get it done.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's, by design for Altair's growth is, we can, not everybody can be a manager, like even wants to, but we want to aim. You take people that have technical background so they can spend some time in the field. You hire somebody that's never been out there, well then, it's not as useful and a bit of a safety risk if you want to put them on a wind turbine or something.
Well, I think that kind of that sets the tone and motivates a lot of people. A lot of the other hands that just to see the management come out and be a part of the process out in the field as well. So I think that really feeds the motivation for the rest of us to do what we need to do to help the company be successful.
Yeah. Okay.
Part of it's Ty though too.
That one's working.
Part of it's Ty. Don't let him fool you, because that man was on that job with me in New Jersey, and in less than 48 hours, he had his hands on MV term tools and helping me strip cable, and found out he was a human wire stretcher on that job. He was there just to support, but he had no problem jumping in and saying, "Hey, whatever you need, we'll get it done."
Okay, even from my perspective, just because of my position in the company, like people don't want to come to me with many work problems. After they get to know me a little bit, then it gets easier. But before that, I've noticed when people are in Tehachapi, I'll get text, "Hey boss, I'm in town next week. Want to get a meal?"
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I bet that person wouldn't reach out if it was a work problem or a work request, but to hang out and have a meal or something, they want to do that. And I'm like, okay, something's working. Like,
oh yeah.
It's funny that way. I get the work stuff and how people feel about sharing.
I think that's just another element to build, within the company. Even though they might not come through for anything about the job, but this is their alone time, and I want to reach out to this certain person. That may be helping them out in a certain way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Right.
Well, people tend to. That's what happens with us. You probably feel it too, but I get a lot of respect from the guys, and not just the guys, but the clients too, because very few people that we deal with, even on the client level, can't pick up the phone and get a hold of me. Like, they can always pick up the phone and talk directly to me, and I think that helps too, right? It's like, because you have someone who is at the executive level making decisions. I spend a lot of time in the field. I'd rather would spend my time in the field. I would hire someone to take care of all the other stuff, to be honest with you, because I would rather just be out there with everyone turning wrenches. But I think it does make a difference, right? When you see people out there on the ground, and like Ty knows, like, I get out there, whatever needs to be done. We need to pick up trash. We need to clean up. We need to load the trailer. It's like everyone's always doing something, and we're working hard to get out of there. So giving people that feeling where the manager, and that's how I was when I was a manager too, even when I didn't have my own company. When I was a manager, I was the same way. I would always show up in the field, put boots on the ground, help the guys with the hard stuff, because I always led from the field, because I felt like you got more respect in the office when you led from the field.
Oh, I see. Sure.
And I don't know if he noticed it last night. Last night was probably one of our most challenging nights. But, it's always good to have be in an environment where, everybody's comfortable with each other. We can, bull crap and, do some, get the job done, but at the same time make it a fun environment. But we went to facing certain challenges, and I got quiet and just started moving. I didn't want to play. I didn't want to do nothing. We just, we're facing something right now, so the tone changed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Execution mode.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna get this work done. Yeah. We can BS later.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it got quiet, and both our minds were working, but it wasn't like, oh, the hell with this guy. It was like, we got to find a solution to get this fixed, or we're going to have a problem.
Okay. So I think what I was taking away from this then is when it's quiet work time, because everybody's hustling and working hard, you're already friends. So you're not wondering if the other person's right?
Yep.
If they're feeling a certain way that's not good or something, because you already have a friendship.
Yep.
And if he was feeling a certain type of way, I gave him a cigar anyway.
See, so I'm talking about. You guys
smile, buddy. It's okay, man.
Yeah, you can tell there's a friendship here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. all right, we got that at Altair, you got it at Errickson, but man, now between companies, you start to just build those friendships and have that trust to depend on each other. That's pretty powerful.
And some of the clients and customers that I've worked for, I mean, it's been the same thing too. Whether it's just me on the job site or 3 or 4 or 5 Altair hands on site, it's been to that point to where they welcome us in, and they're because normally you got subcontractors come in or come to us, a service site, and it's always bumping heads and stuff like that. But it's run very smooth.
That's unique, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A lot of it is just they got to get to know us a little bit, and even if it's new people, maybe they got to know the brand, and and then it's new people, but they have that trust. And it's difficult for the people that live on those sites. They see a lot of other folks come and go.
Don't want to deal with it.
That maybe don't care quite as much, right?
Yep.
So it takes them a while to have that trust. So when you walk out there and have that trust instantly just because of the brand,
it's good.
That's pretty unique.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, really special that way. Be honest, transparent, right? Humble, simple. It's so simple on how to make it happen. I was in a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and it was kind of a rough conversation. And then afterwards, the client called me one-on-one, why aren't you guys defending what happened? Defend what? Well, you have to pay for this now. Yeah, we said that on the call. No, but you're supposed to kind of defend how you did it, and then it's this, negotiation. I went, no,
keep it going.
It's not how we do it.
So we just had
Transparency, honesty, we get through it. And he was like, really? Yeah. No, we don't need to negotiate.
Were you hiding in the back seat of my truck last night? I'm just curious. Because we just had this conversation just yesterday about the same exact thing about, look, we're not perfect. Sometimes things happen.
Yeah.
But taking accountability and proactively taking accountability, I think that always goes a long way. No matter if it's a safety incident, if it's something that might be considered scope creep, or where some contractors would try to flip it as scope creep. We ran into a circumstance with that job, and I talked to that client today, and they were like, hey, well, I need to know what the charges are to run this up the chain and X, Y, Z. And I was like, look, I know what our budget is. If we can stay within the budget, there's not going to be any changes. I said, and even if we can't stay within the budget, I can't 100% say that this was or wasn't like this prior. And if it has anything to do with us, we're going to hold accountability and try to maintain the budget as best as possible. And, those conversations matter. I call it a large mindset, not a small mindset, right? It's like, you're not going to make out like a bandit on every single job. Some jobs are going to create challenges. But the goal for me, and I know for you too, is to build the relationship with the client so that the client knows, hey, I have somebody I can trust. Are we going to necessarily win and hit a home run every single time that we go out there? Maybe not, but we're going to get it done. And the biggest thing I want to walk away with is the client knowing that I'm going to do it for them, do it for them with transparency, do it for them with integrity, and not try to take advantage of them. That's the most important thing to me.
Yeah. No, it's I can tell that there aren't a lot of other companies out there that do that. There have been a few different meetings I've been to where we're with the customer, and yes, we did something wrong. I just say right there, okay, we pay. And they kind of giggle. They go, we've never, that's the easiest one of those we've ever done in our life. And I went, well, not me. It was very expensive. That hurt. Anything else you want? And they were like, no, but your guys are just gentlemen about it.
Let's not do this again.
Yeah. Okay. We got it. Now it's expensive. And now we go forward and fix it, and we don't do it again. Yes. And yeah.
Some of it's just a learning experience,
Yeah.
Some of it you got to chalk it up to a learning experience.
And sometimes the customer doesn't even force the cost onto you. If they agree, no, that needed to be learned because of these unique circumstances and things, and they're happy that it happened, and they're happy that everybody knows, and they're happy to pay.
And they can draw it up to keep it from happening later on.
That's right, because it benefited them a whole lot. Yeah, that transparency, honesty, humility goes a long way.
Oh, we've done it where we've bid something out for like hydrovacing with Badger or something that, we might have bidded for extremely higher, and we found a better way when we were on site. Maybe didn't need them as much. And I've literally sent clients, a reduced invoice, and they're like, hey, your invoice is wrong. No, it's not. It didn't take us what we thought we did, and I'm not unethical. I'm going to charge you what it took us to do the job, because I'm not in the business of making a shit ton of money on markup. We're here to do a good job for you and do an honest job for you. That way you call us back.
Better keep bringing the money in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So the same things that create friendships and culture in companies and amongst companies is the same thing that creates good customers in return work and happy environment for the new people walking in.
Yes, sir.
That's an important one that I wasn't always thinking about. But for those new people to be walking into a site and be welcomed,
Yep.
that's pretty cool for them.
It was cool for me, for myself.
Yeah, that's true.
You take it back to a small town, right? I like to think about when, and I'm not from a small town, but I like to take it back to like when the country was first established and local businesses and the way businesses were. You had like, you know, your iron workers, and you had all these people. You had your milkman, all these people. That was family level stuff. It was, hey, that's the guy we could rely on to get what we need for XYZ and we need for this, right? Corporate America introduces a lot of bureaucracy and other things that kind of cloud those visions, right?
Makes it tougher.
You know, the bottom line is, I think Nick Park said it best when we were here. Who can I call at 3 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Eve and come fix my shit?
Yeah.
You know, and it goes deeper than that. It's like, who can I just call and say that I trust, right? Like, I have a lot of people, like you mentioned mechanics. I'm not always here. Sometimes Lauren has to take the car somewhere or has to go somewhere. We rely on people we can trust because I know that when she walks in the door, they're going to treat her differently than when I walk in the door, right? So it's always about building that trust and understanding who you can trust to do the job, not just get your job done, but have someone that has your back and says, hey, I know that they have my best interest at heart. You know, sometimes it's going to be better for me. Sometimes it's going to be better for them, but they're always going to take good care of me. And I think more companies need to get back to that.
Yeah. And you can build it past the person and into the brand so that it helps those other folks network and work together too, can't you?
You have to.
Instead of having 6 eyes on you, now you got 20 eyes on you.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot more help.
Yep.
A lot more help. What's Up Renewables is growing, and we're looking for new sponsors to join us. Our show connects leaders, innovators, and field professionals across the renewable industry, and our sponsors are part of that conversation. Some have seen their network expand instantly. Others have grown revenue and brand visibility through the connections they've made right here. If you want your company to reach the people driving the future of clean energy, now's the time to get involved. Contact us at media@whatsuprenewables.com to become a sponsor today. Tyrone, anything you're looking forward to this year?
I mean, other than just continue to do what I'm doing, man, and do it in a fashion where so.
I mean, to put you on the spot a whole lot, just trying to shift gears a little bit on the conversation. That's all.
Yeah.
I think I know I'm looking forward to having some more Altair around here and some barbecues. So we got this new spot and down in the corner. We got the butcher shop.
Got the butcher shop right there.
And he keeps a grill out there. Yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
We went in. He was saying that how they were going to start grilling every Saturday now. So that was.
Yep, I had a tri-tip sandwich last weekend. Yeah, it was good. I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah, I got some seasonings off of him. It's pretty good stuff.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's primo. That's what that's one of the things I'm looking forward to this year. I don't know. What about you?
I have another baby on the way.
Yes, you do. What's the due date?
It's in July. It's going to be, it might, depending on what happens, it might be on my birthday, actually. My birthday is July 24th, but probably going to be end of July, early August. We're definitely looking forward to RE Plus this year.
Oh, yeah.
We're exhibiting this year. We will have a booth, so I'm sure we'll see each other.
Yeah.
Plenty. Looking forward to that and just continuing to grow the business, invest in more people, invest in the business, and trying to, we've actually dialed in a lot of our nationwide work in the beginning that we were taking, and we're trying to focus here on the West and try to keep, again, reinvesting in the people, try to keep the people close to home, get them home with their families. That's one thing that I'm really driving really hard this year, is to try to focus on California, Nevada, Arizona. Sometimes we have to go out there because people need us, but I do want to try to also create a culture where our people get to spend time with their family and don't miss the critical points that a lot of us miss, you know?
Okay, so okay. Definitely excited about seeing your booth at RE Plus. Yep, and you showed me some preliminary designs.
Yeah.
Looks pretty cool. You're good with the artistic design, though. It looks good.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and okay, so maybe some work-life balance with some forward scheduling.
Work-life
For the
balance.
team.
Yep.
For you. Family. I know yours is
That's the
probably
hard
not
one.
coming very soon.
That's the hard. It needs to.
I know.
Before I get
Another
choked in my
baby.
sleep. But I'm
Yeah.
trying. It's hard. Definitely some of that. Some of the things you and I are discussing, trying to help out with bringing the renewables closer to the community, right?
Yep.
Bringing the service closer.
A little
to the
more
community.
regionalization would help you guys, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah,
If you could
100%.
stay a little closer to home. And hey, California, Nevada, Arizona, look at all the solar and great contracts.
Yep.
Good customers,
Yep.
right? They're making money, so they want to fix their things. Yep.
Yep.
Good opportunity.
We are also September will officially be eligible for NETA application. So
Oh, cool.
we're definitely pushing hard for that. We're planning on exhibiting at Power Test in Orlando in March of next year. So a couple of shows. We're trying to keep it more specialized in a lot of the stuff that we do. Obviously we're renewables, but we're medium high voltage. We try to stay in that area. We're definitely getting a lot of stuff. We're getting a lot of calls now outside of renewables. Actually,
Okay.
we're getting a lot of calls for facilities and places like that. So looking at a lot of that stuff, but also trying to, like I said, I definitely want to build more of a community environment, help you achieve that as well, so that we can start capitalizing on the stuff that's in our own backyard. You know?
Well, Jacob and I got some strategies behind that, but we're going to need our friends to help.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we get enough of our friends together, we can pull this off. We can spearhead it, but we want to make sure that there's enough friends that want to go with us.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a good one. I think that's pretty much it. I know Ty's looking forward to a lot more wire pulls. He told me. That's what he said. That's what he told me last night.
Yeah.
He said, I can't wait for about 6 more of these, is what he told me.
Yeah. He's probably going, the steaks and smokes are good, but
I'm that type of person. Wherever I can help get the job done, put me there.
yeah.
Put me there.
That's
So,
cool.
Wire pull, kicking rocks, it don't make no difference.
Kicking rocks. Oh, shit. I wish we were kicking rocks last night instead of doing what we were doing. No, but yeah, that's good, Adam. I mean, and like Ty said, and I want to touch on what he said about the Altair culture too, because I got the pleasure of working with Will for the first time a couple weeks ago, and we spent way more time together than we had planned to on the job.
Okay.
But
I just want to hear
you got
all those again.
you guys just have a culture kind of like us, where everyone that comes out, they show up, and if they know it's going to suck, they know it's going to suck, and we just make it happen.
moving.
So we just keep moving. We definitely got to know each other. So I've got the pleasure of working with Ty a couple times, so we know each other a little bit better. But I feel like by the time Will pulled out, me and him were pretty solid. We're having some good laughs, and it's just always a pleasure. That's why I always call you guys back, because there's no one that we'd rather work with if we have the opportunity to. So
Thank you. I really appreciate that compliment. Yeah, and Will he's amazing.
Top notch.
Oh my gosh, top notch.
he's funny.
Yeah.
He dry shot a squencher, no water, and someone told me he did it, and I was like, what? And it was like, yeah.
The powder stuff?
Yeah, and I asked him, I was like, how was that? He was like, that was sour, man. I was like, Jesus,
I'll never do it again.
never do it again. Now you know.
Yeah, yeah. And he's become quite the golfer.
Oh, is he?
I don't think
Braden makes him be. Yeah,
I don't think he golfed before.
Yeah,
or if
I
he
don't-
did, a little bit.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, Braden.
I think Braden's gonna have the whole company. Playing golf.
There's a handful of folks that
Being in
really
tournaments.
push.
Yeah.
When you're on the road, like that's an easy thing for everybody to go out and do. It's not
Yeah.
too expensive. It takes up a chunk of time. Probably have a hamburger at some point.
Yep. Yeah, it's
There's very few things I'm
good.
not
Good
good
team
at,
building.
but I'm not good at that, okay?
No.
I'm good at a lot of things, but I'm not good at golf. So I would drive the cart, I would bring the smokes,
And the drinks.
and the drinks if we need to, but I will. You do not want to see me on a golf course swinging the club.
Well, I've seen several Altarians now getting used to golf and out there, and I've watched them like, oh, man.
No way.
But they get encouragement from like Braden and the other guys. And they're encouraged to keep it up, and they just keep it up. Like nobody even wants to get a lesson; they just want to feel comfortable with their friends and just keep learning on their own. And oh my gosh, they're progressing and getting good. It's amazing, and I think it's just that encouraging, laid back environment.
Yep,
it's really kind of funny. Might have a whole golf league on our hands at some point.
I think it's headed that way.
Do you golf?
I try.
Yeah,
I try.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I try.
Yeah. Last time I went to was a driving range, Top Golf.
Yeah.
And I just hit some balls.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
That's
if you want to go hit balls and smoke cigars, I could do that.
Yeah. And it's this huge open area that, not putting a whole lot of trees and rocks and ponds and stuff in your way.
Keeping up with any points.
Right.
No
yeah.
birdies.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Music.
Mini golf, you want to do mini golf? Maybe.
If
I drank enough, then maybe. But we got to go to one of those crazy ones that spits it out the other side or something. But
that's right.
Regular golf, I'll leave that to the professionals.
It's a game.
Yes, sir.
It's just a game. Yeah, but they get together and do stuff. Like even get together maybe out of the bar or something. Or, playing pool, playing ring toss. Like I've noticed that it's not just sitting around drinking kind of thing. It's doing something.
Well, we can go play.
Every time.
We can go play pool if you want.
Really cool. 100%. Yeah, there you go.
I love pool.
All right,
we
play some pool.
We went and played pool several times.
Yeah.
Last time we were here.
Yeah, you got to do something. Otherwise, it just gets stale. And you're not getting to know each other quite as well.
Bowling's an okay one.
Bowling's okay?
We don't mind bowling.
All right. Yeah, we can bowl.
Bowling, pool. Smoking. Cigars. Every day.
I have no problem with any of these things.
Yeah, and that's just like, a few months ago on the job, everybody to eliminate some of the costs out at the motels, everybody tries to get Airbnbs, So this is my first time like getting an Airbnb, and I'm with some guys that, I haven't even met yet, I haven't even worked with, but here we are. So my way of getting to know these guys, I cook them a meal and boom, there we were. All sitting at the table and just cutting it up, and from that point on, it's a good deal.
Yeah, I kind of like that. The whole get the Airbnb and share.
Yep.
I think a lot of people we provide everyone their own hotel room at Errickson Energy, but when I was younger and I used to travel, we used to do that all the time, and we used to get to know each other. So it's interesting to see the dynamic and watch that dynamic get placed into the field when you have that situation. Because you do get to know each other. It's not just, hey, we clocked in, we did the work, we go home, and you get to learn people. You get to learn what people are good at. Like I said, I know when the wire isn't long enough and we need it stretched, we'll call Ty and Ty stretch the wire for us. You know what I mean? But
what a machine.
Right, exactly. So, but no, it's always good to see that kind of stuff. We used to do it a lot when I was running around in the field and spend time together. Because when you're on the road and sometimes we're in there. That job in LA, we had no idea. I mean, I wanted to have an idea when we were getting out of there, but sometimes you just don't know. So sometimes the people you have with you to work are your only temporary family. And so you get the job.
And say temporary family, but at the same time, a lot of us are around each other more than we are our actual families most of the time.
100%.
So,
Yeah.
It's those times where you got to build off of that and make it work, make the best of it. A lot of us, even myself at the beginning, I bumped my head ran my head into the wall a few times, just not wanting to have no relationship or keeping myself in a distance from everybody. But at the same time, I'm around you more than I am my kids or my own family.
Yeah.
So we're going to make this a family-oriented type of situation.
Yeah. I'm a proponent of the Airbnb style, especially if you have somebody that knows how to cook or likes to cook.
Oh, yeah.
Even if they don't know how, but they like it.
I love it.
Because then I know you love it. Oh, who else? I think William Toe. Similar.
I think so. Yeah.
And they get Airbnbs, and when you get somebody that likes to cook, then all of a sudden everybody's sitting down at the dinner table at the same time.
Old school.
Yep.
Simple.
And they were like, we work, and you come home and do this. How you do? Why? You know, it's
But you like it.
come home and cook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that night I
I'll do
cooked.
dishes. I'm good on cleanup. I mean, I'll pull my weight. Don't want me to.
That night that I cooked, me and Ty left that job at, what was it, 6 o'clock? 5 o'clock? Mm-hmm. It's like 5 o'clock. I was frustrated because I had you coming. I'm like, man, I got to make this, got to knock this one out the park for Adam and the guys, you know what I mean? And didn't have time to season it the night before. We were late. I threw it on, and we went straight to cooking, smoking cigars. We didn't get no break. Nobody went to get a shower. It's just like, hey, you know, everyone join us. We sat at a picnic table out back and, you know, have a good conversation about some of the stuff we're talking about right now, you know?
Yeah.
We'll have these same conversations a year or two from now, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Be able to tell this story to somebody else down the line.
Mm-hmm. I think that's another key to keeping that culture is that we just got to keep telling the stories, right? So other people know how to feel comfortable.
Sure.
Because you're right. At first, it's like, do I really want to get to know these strangers? And maybe I feel like just being alone or something. But no, when you force yourself to do it, good things happen.
Oh, you should always.
Yeah.
I encourage it, especially coming from a generic electrician and a traditional electrical background. We did an apprenticeship program, right? So we got to spend time next to master electricians and guys who had stuck in their ways, had some old tricks, some good tricks, some of the stuff I still do today. But it's different, right? I feel like renewables now is a little bit different. It's such a fast-moving environment. Sometimes you don't get that one-on-one. A lot of the training I got, I was with the same guy for years, just side by side by side, working with that person, right? And when you do that, you got a few hours drive to the job, right? I mean, when Ty's in the truck with me or one of my guys in the truck or anyone's in the truck with me, that's conversation time, right? And most of the time, that conversation time isn't even about work.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're driving home last night, I'm smoking a cigar, look at him like, I've known this guy for a while. So what's your favorite color? Right? Like it's just your strangest question, but it's like
and it was just out of the blue, so it took me a minute to answer. I look, I'm like,
like it's a setup or something.
Favorite color.
Right.
But you know, you just want to get to know people, man, because like I said, when you're out there sometimes, I mean it's rough, man, and you got to have people to talk to. You got to have people to communicate with. And he's right. That week when we were down there, man, I talked to him more than I talked to Lauren.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and sometimes that joke around, that ass grabbing shit, right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit, the jokes and shit. Sometimes that's what gets you through the hard times.
Sure.
You know, sometimes you got to put your face down and put on the game face and keep moving. But sometimes that joke, you know, baby mama, sometimes that's what gets you through
That's
the
the
night.
oddest one I've ever heard in my life. Like, we were walking in this nice Italian restaurant, and here's baby mama's here now.
What?
Who?
Adam,
Well, I think you said it first.
Meekin was the same way.
Yeah.
He's like,
I was like,
he said, "What's up with that?"
Steve,
But listen-
that's your wife.
but
I don't think
listen-
you can say that. You weren't talking about Lauren.
No. By the time Meekum left, he was like, hey, man, kind of jealous of what's going on right here, right? I say stuff to him. He's like, hey, you better be careful. Ty gonna get jealous and stuff, you know. But it's not like that. It's like that's my guy. Like Ty, he does whatever to get the job done. You know, it's just like I hold high regards for him. That's why I asked for him, because I know what to expect when he comes out. And I actually told Will when he left, I said, hey, you won't be coming to the next one, bro. And he was like, oh shit. And I'm like, yeah. So you just got to build that, man. You just got to get the people that you can trust out there. Sometimes it's people know how you operate. They know what to expect. I think Ty, a lot of times when I'm frustrated and I'm like at my end, he knows when to like he said, stop the talking, pick up. All right, we got to try X, Y, Z, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes working with people, you build those relationships where it's kind of like the marriage thing, right? Like how you always say, like it's a percentage split, right? And sometimes you have this and this person has that. Sometimes the people you work with know when you're at your end and it's time for them to pick up their piece.
Yeah.
So that you're okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's important.
Yeah. That's right. Everybody has to do 100%, even in a marriage. Sometimes you got to do 120.
150.
150, sure. Yeah. I'll tell you what, this is cool. We came in here thinking we were just going to be talking shop.
Yeah.
And this has turned into a great conversation on culture.
Went around everything.
Went around everything and on culture. And, man, I think this is a great conversation.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you guys coming in. And
I appreciate it.
I don't know, any final updates from Errickson?
I don't think so. I think you covered everything pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
You guys are doing good. Looking forward to a good year.
Yeah.
Focus on
Busy.
on your strong suits. Little regionalization would help.
We're and we're definitely going to be hitting long-term contracts hard is my big goal. That's my big goal, is to try to get more of the long-term preventative contracts. I think that there's a lot of providers out there that are checking boxes, not providing as good a quality service as they can.
Yeah.
Like I told you before, I can't fix everybody's stuff. I would love to.
Yeah.
But, we're definitely focused on working with the customers who value what we bring to the table, value the transparency. Some of it's going to be trauma, Ryan Booth, when I worked for him, he used to always refer to things as a trauma period with some clients. Like, hey, they don't realize how bad their stuff is, and we kind of got to get it back to where it's stable, right? So some of it's going to be trauma, but I think that if some of these customers get through trauma and we get back on a cycle where it's recurring and it's regular, I think they're going to see a lot of improvements. So we're definitely pushing hard to try to push that and sell as many long-term contracts as possible. And in those contracts, we try to sell the long-term service, but also work on master service agreements where we can get our corrective call-out rates, better pricing as well. And that's a two-way street. That's because customers are signing up for long-term revenue, but it's also because, hey, if I'm taking care of your situation from a preventative side, I'm okay reducing the rate a little bit to help you out, because now I know that it's not going to be every Friday the phone rings, right? And it's kind of like getting more to that where we can help customers predict their budget on the MV side, because some people don't even have an MV budget. They don't even realize that they need an MV budget until something goes wrong, right? So if we can try to prevent those things and try to fix them and give people better insight to their projects, some of it's going to be shell shock, but eventually it'll plateau. And people understand it's like, okay, hey, we're trying to keep it steady. So one thing that we're definitely looking for is clients in California, especially in this area, SoCal all the way up to Sacramento, that are looking to have us come in and perform good quality preventative services, and help them give not only service, recommendations, education, and we're open. It doesn't have to be, hey, we're doing all your BOP maintenance, right? Maybe there's a level where you feel like you have competent guys that can do like a monthly transformer inspection. That's a visual, right? But it's where can we help educate you? Where can we fill the gaps? And if that means that you need us to take it start to finish, we'll do that as well. But I think working with people and being open to work with people with their plan, right, is critical too, because some people just need a little bit of help. They don't need you to take care of the whole thing.
I think you're going to get them, buddy. And helping them predict their failures, get ahead of maintenance's corrective with planned work. And I believe you're going to accomplish that goal of those contracts and the regionalization. And I think you just kind of like let them know you're helping each other out.
Yeah.
Right. You're also becoming more valuable to them as a resource and planning for it, which your company needs. I hear you. Trying to get that balance.
It's a give and take, and we have no shortage. Like
I know.
I wish the phone would stop ringing a little bit sometimes, but it's trying to get that plan, and it's working towards the goal, right? It's not just a business goal for the business's revenue, but it's also a goal to helping those people reduce some of those calls, right? Because if we can work towards maintaining it from a preventative side and a predictive side, the phone won't ring as much. There won't be so many high stress moments where the client or the asset managers or the director of operations of the O&M company is trying to figure out, oh man, this down again. I don't know where the parts are. I need someone to fix it now. client is constantly calling me, texting me, emailing me for updates. It all comes into play, right? I always say that when one thing happens at a level of like procurement, the client side, administration, right? All these things, it trickles downhill. It affects every single portion of it. And if we can try to get ahead of it and try to help mitigate it, then we can not only help the O&M providers and the client, but all the other people like the procurement, right? The vendors, the people who get the parts, right? It's all about how can we better predict everything that's going to happen instead of everything being a reaction.
I love it. That's a great goal. I think you got a stellar strategy that's definitely going to win for you. Really do. You built your reputation, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, congrats. Keep driving.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tyrone, any final thoughts or no? It's good to be on the podcast.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
certainly glad you did it, man. I really am. I wasn't sure.
I was at that point. I was like, coming in, out, coming in and out. So, but I'm glad I did it.
Yeah. Celine talked a little trash and
Oh yeah, she got me.
oh yeah.
She got me.
That's good. Well, thank you for being on.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate that. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Have a good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
bro.
Thank you.
All right.